What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another gear review here. Today, it's taken us a long time to review this piece of gear, and this was, when we got into hammock camping, the first piece of gear we bought. So today, we're finally going to give you guys an in-depth review on the Warbonnet Blackbird XLC Hammock. This was the first hammock we both ever bought. Andy, we were turned on to this because Andy had slept in a regular Warbonnet Blackbird on a canoe trip, right?
Yep, a week long in Canada.
So when we looked to get into hammock camping, we were kind of like naturally just drifted towards this hammock. So there is the Warbonnet Blackbird XLC, which is an 11-foot hammock, and there's the Warbonnet Blackbird, which I think is it's their 10 or 10.5-foot hammock. We are both like 6'2", so the XLC was what we had to get. So this is made by Warbonnet Outdoors. It currently comes in 3 different varieties, and we'll throw them up on the screen. There's a single layer and a double layer option. There's 2 double layer options, and depending on what weight rating you want, I think it goes from 250 to 400 pounds, depending whether you want to put a pad in there or not. The hammock also comes with 2 suspension options, so you can either get Whoopie Slings put on it for an extra $10, or you can use their cinch buckle system. We both got Whoopie Slings. They're slightly lighter, and we both really like Whoopie Slings.
Yeah.
Whoopie Slings get a lot of hate, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, they do get a lot of hate. They can be a little bit more, you know, it takes a little bit longer to learn, and it can take a little bit longer to set up. But once you get used to them, I don't see what all the hate is.
Yeah, we have both never encountered a situation where we couldn't hang this. One thing I will note, I have noticed, especially compared to like the Dutch Wear Chameleon or another hammock, is this takes slightly further apart trees, like 17 feet, whereas like the Chameleon you can get away with like 13 to 15. That's just kind of a unique thing about it. But we're gonna go. We will head up to the gear loft and set this up, and we'll show you guys the features and kind of go through what makes this hammock like special and unique. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Now before we head up there, I think really we only really have superbly positive things to say about the hammock.
Yeah, this is a great hammock. I mean, it's really like popular, famous hammock. So. We will set up, we will tell you the specific things we like about it, and kind of the nuances about it, and kind of like see you guys, let you see how someone lays in it. All right.
Yeah.
So there's the Blackbird setup in all its glory. We were up in the gear loft here. Average hang, not too great. So one of the things with the Blackbird they do recommend is going about 16 inches higher on the foot end than the head end. I have never gone that high. You definitely want to go a little bit higher on the foot end. This is pretty level. One thing, the reason that Warbonnet wants your foot end that much higher is they want your head right at that Warbonnet logo right there, and Andy's doing a good job there. And if you have your foot end higher, it'll kind of force you to roll back into that sweet spot, which is where he is. Going around the hammock, so here's a shot of the Whoopie Slings, and they're really easy to adjust. You can't adjust them while they're loaded, so if you went with the cinch buckle system, you just have a cinch buckle here that would go to your tree strap. We're not using tree straps because we're in the gear loft and you don't need tree straps. So one thing we really like about this hammock is you'll notice that the tie outs actually tie out on the bug net, and these are not at an ideal angle because we're inside, but they really do a good job of pulling the bug net up off your face. And you can take the tie outs off, which is nice. And you don't need the tie outs at all. The hammock will work perfectly fine without them, but it is really nice that, look at that, it will really lift that netting up off your face. One kind of minor thing about this hammock is it zips up at the top here. So if you're not tall or you don't have long arms, it's actually like see, he's got to reach all the way up to unzip it. And a little pet peeve, Warbonnet does not tie anything on these zippers. So we've tied a piece of Lawson glow wire on them. So if you get this hammock, definitely tie something on to the zippers. It makes them much easier to grab. So let's check out the other side. So here we are at the other side, and this is the little foot box area of the hammock. So as you can see, it's cut kind of differently, and there's a little bit of extra fabric over here, and this makes your foot box. So he's pretty off center and pretty flat in there. One thing, and if you kind of watch, I'll put a link right up there. We compare this hammock to the Dutchware Chameleon, and one thing we do like about the Chameleon is that it ties out on the foot box, so it will naturally pull this out for you. And it's not a big deal. You mean you're going to put your feet in this and it's going to naturally pull it out for you, so it might not be a big deal, but it is kind of nice to have pullouts that go like that. Here is the defining characteristic of this hammock and something we love. This is the shelf. So we've tied it out down here. You do not need to tie this out whatsoever. It'll just kind of hang tight. I've got a full-size Costco down quilt in there right now, and there is still room for other stuff. So this thing is awesome. I mean, there's a good shot at it. It's super, like, reach your arm up in there. Like, you can get to anything while you're sleeping. It is simply sweet. You can take the tie-outs off if you want, but this is the infamous Warbonnet shelf, and they have patented this, and it really is probably the most awesome part of this hammock, and something we really miss because we don't have them on our Dutchware Chameleons.
And I would say you definitely want to have the pullouts on it, because
while
you can use it without the pullouts, if you don't have it pulled out, the shelf kind of caves in a little bit, and it kind of closes in the hammock a little bit. I mean, definitely doable without it, but it's way better when it's pulled away from your body.
Nice. So right here, and we'll zip back the bug net. This is for, you can zip the bug net back and tie it up here. This is also for the Warbonnet Wookie underquilt. So they actually have created an underquilt specific to this hammock, which is really cool. It's called the Wookie, and it's not a shock corded underquilt. So a lot of people don't like shock cord underquilts because they don't like the feeling of shock cord up against their body, but the Warbonnet solved that by making their Wookie underquilt, and there's a good, you can see how flat he is. It's actually a pretty good lay. So we've got the bug net kind of zipped back. So the bug net will zip all the way around, and see, you can see it up here, and zip, and it will zip all the way off. That's the XLC stands for the XL convertible. That's what that C stands for. So the regular Blackbird, you can't zip the bug net off. Which may not be a big deal. You can still zip it back. You know, I don't really, that's never bothered me. But the one thing about this hammock is if you do kind of zip off this bug net, you will lose this cut right here, and you do lose a little bit of the foot box. You'll still have some of it, but this part of the bug net right here is kind of responsible for helping keep the shape of this foot box. So I've never slept, I always sleep with the bug net on, so it never bothered me, and I always will kind of do this maneuver, like keep it just zipped back but off your face if you do want it gone. Cat loves to ruin these shots. So we went ahead and got a we got a cat, and we put an underquilt on there for you. This is a Hammock Gear 20-degree full-length incubator, and it fits this hammock really nice, actually. I've also put underground quilts, Zeppelin on here, an Enlightened Equipment, Revolt on here. I mean, any underquilt fits on here really well. Any kind of shock corded thing, and you know, your head's going to be right about here. So there's a shot with an underquilt on there. It fits just fine. Now, if you were to get a double layer, you just have an extra layer of fabric right there, and you'd slip a pad right underneath there. It's a B-roll of the cat.
Right. And as far as being in the hammock, I really like, it's a super comfortable hammock. The fabric is really comfortable. It is really roomy in here. Like Kevin said, it would be really nice to have a pull out on the foot box for me. Again, not needed, just kind of like personal preference. And then additionally, I noticed that one of my cord locks on my tie out can't hold the tension on the shock cord anymore. So minor
minor fix. Just need to get a stronger cord lock to keep the pullouts out. Other than that, those are really my only critiques of it. This is a great hammock. It's super comfortable, and it takes all your normal accessories, under quilts. You can buy, you know, all the other companies' accessories like your Ridgeline hangers and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a great hammock, and if you haven't checked out Warbonnet Outdoors, like you're doing yourself a disservice. Get on their website and see what they have to offer. Watch all their YouTube videos as well. And if you're in the market for a hammock, you should definitely put the XLC on the list of stuff that you're looking at.
So there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you got any comments or your experiences with the Warbonnet, we use this hammock for a long time and we love it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let us know what you think about this hammock, and we'll see you on the next one.